So this is a little bit of a shocker. Okay, but anyway, so it's good to know about this. We are going back to phytoplankton production. Okay, and how does it work, phytoplankton production? Okay? Because the net production that you have of phytoplankton is actually the production minus the loss due to grazing by zooplankton. So what does production mean? It's net production actually means an increase in the phytoplankton biomass over time. And this is shown here with this little equation in the red box. You have on the left side is the change of phytoplankton biomass over time. And it's actually proportional to the actual phytoplankton biomass that you can, it's called P, okay, on the right hand side, okay, multiplied by P minus Q, and P minus Q is the growth rate. Okay, it's the net photosynthetic rate, okay, and the loss rate to grazers. Okay, and this equation is central to the creation of life, essentially, because what it implies is an exponential change. It comes from cell division. You know, if you start with a number of cells and you divide, and you continue dividing, you get an exponential growth. And this is where it comes from. However, so now there is a link between the production, which is on the left-hand side of this equation, and actually the phytoplankton biomass, which is on the right-hand side of the equation. So there's a link between phytoplankton biomass and production, and this is when you average your data over several months. Then net phytoplankton productivity can be related to phytoplankton biomass. On the other hand, I can also, I should say that there's also an equilibrium, and equilibrium is actually when there is no net production, okay, and it all looks staying the same, but in fact what it implies is that you have a production, but it's balanced by the loss due to grazing. Okay, so still think lots of happening, but if you measure with your satellites, you know, you don't see any change in the concentration. Okay? This is always a very, very important thing. So although you have data which show no change, there's still of dynamics happening in that system. Okay, because once you have an algae bloom, it kicks off other processes, you know, and if you have no production, then the concentration would just decrease. If you have an equilibrium, means that there's just the production is offset by the grazing. Okay.